Hey, Grand Archive fans, this is your captain speaking here. I'm Captain Clyde's MTG. Today, our news is Grand Archive spoilers as we start covering stuff for Fractured Crown. Today's first one, we're going to go over some picks straight from the website that they spoiled for Fractured Crown already. Tomorrow, I'm going to gather up a whole bunch of stuff that I can find on the internet. Some leaks have come out from certain people that the company has gave information to, and I want to share that with you and put it all in one spot for you, just like I do with the Magic stuff. So here we go. So we're going to start off with the website. Don't forget, comment, like, and subscribe if you dig what I'm doing. It helps support the channel and doesn't cost you anything other than a little click of the button. Maybe your finger's tired. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. So from the website, we have this list here. We have for Wind, we have Ventus Staff of Zephyrs. This is a regalia item for a mage. It says whenever you activate a wind spell, you put a refinement counter on the staff. It says here that you can rest it, which is tapping for you magic guys. Remove a refinement counter from the staff and put an enlightenment counter on your champion. Or remove 3 refinement counters to suppress an ally. So suppressing means you tap it down, it doesn't untap. So this is kind of cool, especially for Zero. The ability to level up your champion by casting more mage spells is kind of neat. This is something Wind needs. Wind doesn't get a whole lot of mage activity. So this could be kind of a cool item to see if it actually becomes very useful. It is a super rare, so we'll have to see. In common, we have Riptide Slash. So this is for water. It's a warrior attack. Class bonus. On attack, you get Glimpse 2. For you guys who don't know what Glimpse is, think of Scry from Magic. Look at the top 2 cards of your deck. Put those cards back on the top or bottom in any order. On kill, you may put the top card of your deck into your graveyard. Some of you may think, why would I want to do that? Some synergies of some cards allow you to, let's just say, banish cards from your graveyard for extra effects. Plus, if you got a bad card on top and you want to put it on the bottom, but you can still use that card because a lot of cards have floating memory, which for you guys who don't know, floating memory is how you can pay for your regalia items like the staff, even though it's free. If it costs 1, floating memory is paid out of your graveyard. So you may not want the card, but if the card has floating memory, you may want it in your graveyard instead. So that's kind of cool. Next, we have Ocean's Blessing. So this is a tamer spell. It's in water. For 2, it has ally link. This object enters the battlefield linked to an ally. If the link is broken, you sacrifice this object. So basically, if the ally dies or gets removed or whatever, the artifact, the Fantasia goes away. A linked ally gets +1 heart and has taunt. This is also a floating memory as a class bonus if you're a tamer, like I mentioned earlier, to pay for the stuff out of your material deck. So what is taunt? Taunt is a new mechanic to the game. It's very much like intercept, but it's unactivated. So basically what that means is if you have an ally with taunt, if someone attacks, they have to attack the ally with taunt before they can attack anybody else. You don't have to say, oh, I'm going to intercept if you want to block the damage. They have no choice but to damage the taunt ally first, which could put serious hindrances on decks that like to do one-shot kills because their first attack may be like, hey, I'm gonna do a 10, a 20, or 10, and 11, and then a 13 on my Xander Mage. Well, that first 10 has got to go to the taunt ally, so you lose that 10 damage, and then you can't kill the hero probably. So taunt's going to be something new to the game. It's going to maybe put a stop to a lot of those decks and make you have to rework them. Next, we have Slime, Red Slime for fire. 3 cost. It's a tamer beast. I love how it's a little rested in the pot there. It has Pride 3. The ally won't obey you unless you have a level 3 or higher. So for tamers, you have to raise your level much like you do with Xander by putting counters on. And if your level is not 3 or higher, the slime won't do anything for you. You do get a class bonus though on death, deal damage to all slimes equal to red slime's power. So some slimes have effects you want when they die, yada yada yada. So it's a thing. 3 mana for a 3/2 though is pretty sweet. We're not gonna lie. All right, next we have from the site. We have the Deep Sea Fractal. we have a cost of 2. It's for water. It has Hinder. This object enters the field rested, which means it comes in tapped, can't be used. But on enter, each player puts the top card of their deck into their library. So very interesting. This also has something called reversible. While paying for the while paying the reserve cost, you may rest this object to pay for one of that cost. So that's going to be a new mechanic. For example, if this is on the field, the next turn it will actually awaken, which is where it untaps. And if you have something else with reservable on it, you can pay for something else that you cast. Like for example, here we have Protected Fractal, right? It has reservable too. While paying for a reserve cost, you may rest this object to pay for one of that cost. If you tap it, prevent the next 1 damage that would be dealt to a champion this turn. Not a very good card. Don't see a whole lot to it. But for example, if you had Deep Sea Fractal out on turn 2, on turn 3, if you wanted to put a Protective Fractal out here, you could tap the Deep Sea Fractal and then use 3 cards to play this. So it gives you something more, much like Floating Memory, but for actual cards in your hand, which is something the game doesn't have right now. Next, we have Fractal Insight. So on enter, you may rest Fractal Insight if you do get the Glimpse too. This too also has reservable. This is a very interesting card. These are all commons. It'll be interesting. This card has promise on the fact that it lets you glimpse, and then you can pay cost for 2. I think this will be I don't want to say it's going to be a starter like some cards, but it has a very good possibility just because of the simple fact of it letting it mill through your deck and play cards out of your hand faster. It's almost like Mana Ramp in Magic. So, all right, next we have this group here. We have for Wind, we have the Effigy of Gaia. 0 cost Regalia item, Tamer Bauble. Class bonus, your champion gets +1 level as long as you control an animal or beast ally. Pretty sweet. But it actually does, whenever an opponent activates an attack card with Cleave, animal and beast allies you control gain 2 health. That's pretty cool. Cleave is a red spell that deals damage to all allies on the board. This on the board will actually let some of those allies live through a Cleave more often than not. So it's pretty sweet. Plus, it's 0, +1 level is really cool. It's pretty nice, super rare. For rare in water, we have Wand of Frost. So we have another Regalia item for Cleric and Mages. Class bonus on enter, draw a card. If you didn't know what class bonus is, you have to have the class Cleric or Mage as your hero to get the bonus of drawing a card. But anyway, so that's already sweet if you have that. I mean, you don't play it until you have that, so you can draw a card for free. It's really cool. Use your Floating Memory to get a card back. To play this and get a card out of your deck. It's amazing. This looks good so far. Banish Wand of Frost. Target unit's attack gets -3 till end of turn. That is also phenomenal. With some decks that do big swing attacks and then do a medium swing attack and then use something to double it. They try to double it. You can possibly respond with this to make it lower so that you don't take, instead of taking 6 to 12, you take 3 to 6. So if that's how it works, we'll have to get the rules to make sure. This could be a real big card for water as well. For red, we have a 0 cost of Valkyr and Soul Knife. What a name. This is for the assassins. It has class and bonus and element bonus. So you have to be a fire assassin to get this bonus. But you may banish 3 fire element cards from your graveyard to activate this card from your material deck. So basically play it for free. The class bonus on this is on kill, you return the Soul Knife to your material deck. So this will give assassin decks a way to get cards out of the Regalia weapons over and over again as they do their damage. So pretty sweet. Next we have this group. We have Water's Song of Frost. So for 2, it's a Tamer skill with Medley. Class bonus, you may banish this card with floating mana from your graveyard rather than pay this card's reserve cost. That's pretty cool. It also says if a unit is attacked in the combat phase, this is a very interesting action with taunt, because if you have a creature with taunt and someone's trying to go off on you with a double combo attack or a 3-hit combo attack, first attack goes through, they have to hit the person. You play this, stops the combat. They lose a lot of their momentum and a lot of their combo cards. It's pretty sweet. So next we have the Scavenging Raccoon, because Who doesn't want a Trash Panda? Tamer, Animal Raccoon ally. So on entry, banish up to 2 cards from a single graveyard. This card looks really good to me. Taking Floating Memory out of someone's graveyard so they're forced to use cards in their hand to pay for their leveling up their champion and their Regalia from their material deck could be a seriously strong strategy that could stop a lot of people. Next, for fire, we have a 3-cost Varukun Acolyte. God, I'm probably saying that wrong. I'm sorry, guys. It's a human mage ally. On enter, destroy target regalia with memory cost 0. And at level 3 plus, the Acolyte gets +3 to attack, so it's a 3-1. This card is amazing. There's a red card right now that destroys regalia 0. And I think it costs 1 or 2. It may even be free. But the point is, you have to spit. It's a card that takes up space in your deck. This can also just be a creature that has an extra ability. Now we're starting to see cards like this with utility. These utility cards are going to start making up more of these decks as they become easier to deal with more decks that they fight against because of cards with toolbox ability, where you can just, it has different things that happen. If one thing doesn't happen, it doesn't matter. It's still good because of the other. And if both things happen, you're even getting more. So next from the site, we have a fast cure. So 2 colorless cleric spell. Target opponent's influence is greater than yours. You recover 4. That's 4 life. Plus it's floating memory. So you can use it to pay for stuff out of your graveyard. Pretty good stuff. I like it, but I think there's better floating memory cards. Just saying. Illuminate Secrets. This is a Luxem card for 2 cost. Assassin Mage spell. Deal amount of damage to target unit equal to the owner's influence. Minus your influence. A player's influence is equal to the total amount of cards in their hand and memory. So, very interesting. Very situational as well, though it is fast, but I don't think fast matters. I mean, you can't use it to respawn, to do damage and kill something or whatever. But at the end of the day, if they have more cards than you, you're probably losing anyway. So this feels more like a win more than a comeback or just win. So that's my personal opinion. All right, next cards from the site. We have Crawl, Stonescale Tyrant for Terra. This thing is beautiful. 5 cost, 6/8. Tamer Beast ally. As additional cost to activate this card, you have to banish 2 preserved cards from your material deck. That's kind of rough. It has Intercept, Spell Shroud, True Sight, Vigor, and a class bonus of on attack, reveal the top 2 cards of your deck and put them into your material deck. Wow. That is just insane. Oh, they go in preserve, sorry. But still. Intercept, we all know that you can have this creature, if it's not rested, take a hit for your champion. Spell Shroud can't be targeted. Forget what True Sight does. Vigor. Well, Vigor is like basically you have to rest it to attack. Vigor means at the end of your turn, it unrests and is now untapped for you to do things with again, like Intercept. So this is a very powerful card. It's going to be an expensive super rare. And then over here to the right, you have the sweet the collector's edition one. Man, is that thing pretty. Both of them are pretty, but man, is that thing pretty. All right, so we'll go on to our next new ally. This one is Lancelot, Goliath of Acesia. 4 cost Guardian Warrior. He is hindered. He enters the field rested, so you can't use him to attack on the first turn or do anything. But he has a class bonus and a level 2 plus bonus. He gets +2 health, so he's a 2/5 if you play him at that time. On attack, you may pay 3. If you do, Lancelot gets +3 attack. That is insane, making him a possible 5/5. We'll have to wait to see if that pay 3 is only from your hand, from your memory, or maybe you can use memory from your graveyard. Either way, I think this is going to be a very powerful card, and to say nonetheless, all out again with the collector foil. This is just absurdly cool. Yeah, both these cards are super rares, this one and the previous one. Next, we have Merlin Kingslayer. This one's for Crux. Champion, Mage, Warrior, Human. So it has the Merlin lineage. At the beginning of your recollection phase, put a level counter on Merlin. Then if there's an even amount of level counters on Merlin, you draw a card and Merlin's attack gets +2. Insanely good card. It can use mage and warrior spells. These dual champions will help you get more class bonuses off of the cards you play and will change decks and how they're built. Just incredibly good. And not to mention, again, collector edition, looking so sweet. Man, oh man. I just can't believe how sweet these cards are going to be. All right. So that's it from the ones from the site. I'm going to gather up whatever else has been spoiled by drudging through the dark internet, also known as the internet, and give you guys another rundown tomorrow. So stay tuned. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. Till next time, be kind. Hope to see you across from the game table slinging some Fractured Crown, hopefully.